talking about operational excellence, what exactly is that, V? As you're kind of getting into the job, you're dropping a couple of glass balls, you got a couple of rubber balls going there, you're learning, you got all the new people over there. Had to be a big learning curve just getting to know the people. But you are very well known at the university on a high level. What exactly, in your definition, take the rest of the time, we got a couple minutes to go here, 3, 4 minutes. What is operational excellence in your definition?
So I'm going to begin that it starts off with three strategic questions.
Okay.
The first question is, are you doing the right things? The second
Okay.
thing is, can you or do you have the capacity to do the right things? And then the third thing is, can you do the right things right the first time and every time? And so what we're taking a look at is, what are the things that we do? Are they the right things in today's context? Because technology has changed the world a lot. I mean, think about now, we're doing this over Zoom, and 15 years ago, we wouldn't have been doing it this way. I'd have
That's right.
been in at your studio and we've been talking. So what does technology mean? And are we doing the right thing for our students and our faculty and staff? The second part of this, do we have the capacity? And that is, do we have the systems in place, the people in place, the technology in place to do it? And then the third thing is, doing it right every time. So, you spent your time with, telecom. And I remember you and I used to run the stadium because we were both in stadium operations on a football game.
Hmm.
And, and when coach is talking over the phone with the coach upstairs and there, he wants to make sure it happens. And you got to
Hmm.
make sure that happens all 60 minutes, every game,
Oh yeah.
every game.
I
So
know it well. I know it
yeah,
well. Let me
you
add,
know it well,
getting
right?
screamed at the Rose Bowl by a guy that's 6'5" and just getting in my grill about headset. It's like, oh yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So that. And so in your mind, you're always thinking about, how can I do this better? How can I make it easier for the coaches? I mean, that's what in the brass tacks of that's what operational excellence is to be able to do that right every time and execute it very, very well every time. And it's about getting better. I mean, what we do is we're trying to get better every day. And that's what operational excellence is all about. And it starts at the people who do the work. Like, I mean, because you worked telecom, you knew how it worked in the stadium.
Hmm.
You had all the right ideas, you knew where the stress points are. And so it's giving you the tools and the autonomy to be able to say, I got to make this, I can fix this, I can make this right for the coaches. And that's really what we're trying to do, is that it's not top down, it's bottom up, top, and we all come together and we all have this commitment. And when we talk about the Spartan experience, what we want it to be is that when you come to the institution, you have a great
Or
experience.
do you go into your closet or your phone booth at home, put on your Superman Vennie Gore outfit, and then go to work and be the executive vice president? Or do you just go downstairs, do your work, and you're just the same guy? Because this is the whole thing about people thinking they got to put on this game face or imposter syndrome or that kind of nonsense. What do you do?
I'm just the guy trying to learn, man, trying to get better every day. I'm a human being, Tom. And every day I come to work, and most of the days I get it right. Some days I don't, and I try to learn from my mistakes. I read a lot. I ask good questions. I try to figure out from different folks, as you know. And I think the important part of being a team member is how you work on yourself. And you got to be open to yourself. You got to be open when you don't do something right, and admit, hey, I didn't get that right. If things aren't going right, you ask people for help. I'm not afraid to ask people for help. In one of my golden rules, there are ask these three questions. I made a mistake, it's okay. I need help. Can you help me do this better?
When you meet people at the gym, V, what's your impression with some of the, especially the early morning people like we've always been, it's like, what do you think about that? And the kids, our students, they're students, these young people, because those are the dynamic dynamos.
Anyone who can regularly get up and show up at the gym at 6 o'clock is telling you how much dedication they have. I mean, they're committed.
They're
They're not
committed.
sleeping in. It's, and we're talking about when it's hot outside and it's cold and dark and snowy,
God,
they're
those
showing up every day. I mean, they just show up. And so you want to hire those kind of folks because I mean they've got some commitment, they've got some discipline, and they care about what they're doing. So I mean, there's a lot to be said for someone who gets up that early in the morning and does their
want
thing.
to talk to us.
That's the
V, do
thing.
you find that students, young people in general, they're longing for input from older adults?
Yeah, I think they want mentorship. They want people to help and advise. And there's a time in which that I think young people want that to happen. And you just have to be able to walk through the door. So you kind of get the sense. So you walk through the door, man. You went and introduced yourself, and it started that relationship. And then it exposed her to other people at lunch. And so I think people want that. They
People
want to
do
feel
put it
connected.
in my mind. All right, let's
People,
talk about the innovation lab. We talked about
yeah.
operational excellence and IT services and some of that, and I'll be talking to you about that a little bit later. But the innovation lab, I looked this up. Cool deal, man. What you
Mhm.
got going?
Yeah. Yeah. So, the innovation lab idea is not new. So if you go Apple 30 years ago, when they invented Macintosh, they created this small unit on the side and said, we have this project, you guys go figure out the personal computer. And so we want to do something that's really similar where we have this small unit on the side and we have problems that we're trying to address institutionally. And and so we put that in innovation lab and they do in the process what we call plan, do, act, check. So you plan, you do it, you check to see if it worked, and then you do it again. And it's that cycle, plan, do, act, check. Um, and it's all about innovating and trying to get the things done. I had a very good friend that was number 30, employee number 39 with Microsoft back in the
Ooh,
80s. And I used to ask her, so like, why does Microsoft always come out with new versions? You remember the old days? Those of us who are old, the young people might not remember, but we do. When you get version of Microsoft Word 3.0 and you
yep.
load it up, and then there'd always be something you're frustrated with. They did that on purpose. So what Microsoft was doing was they would develop software, 80% of it, and then they want their customers to tell them what else could they do better.
Ooh,
So so they come back because as developers and programmers, they weren't writing it for them, they were writing it for
people's life.
you.
Give me a 30-second takeaway on that, and then we'll go to break.
Yeah. So if you think about this, you may grow up and not know that you could be a salesperson or ag economist. You may not know that. So you come here and we're so diverse, you go, I didn't know I had this opportunity. And you start to learn. I didn't know I could be a nurse. I didn't know I could be a dietitian. I like food. I didn't know I could do different things. So the beauty of a Michigan State is that it's large enough where you can do a lot of different things, but it's small enough that it feels like home. And
Mhm.
that's the beauty of a Michigan State.
Just for a second, talk about the food services that we have within the institution that people may not even be aware of.
Sure. So about 15 years ago, 18 years ago, we switched. So when Tom and I went to school in the old days, lunch was from 7 to 9. And no, breakfast was 7 to 9, lunch was 11 to 1, dinner was 5 to 7. If you missed it, you're out of luck. And remember mystery meat? Remember that time when they used to talk about mystery meat? Well, really what it was is that you cook everything in the morning, you put it in a hot cart, and then you put it on the table and you serve it. Well, today, when you go to restaurants or you go to other places, what you see is cook to flow. So you order your food and it's cooked as you need it. And we have a greater emphasis on healthy food. And and at Brody, you can actually have 27 different options if you really think about it, because there's 7 different stations, there's 3 options per station. So you can get a lot of different, and because we do know that a university runs on its stomach. And when you are full, you can study better, you can teach better, you can work better. So that is sort of what our idea of it. And we have neighborhood dining. So there's one on the west side, which would be Brody, the south side, which is over in Case. The east side is over in Acres. Then we have two that are sort of center of the campus, which is Shaw, then the gallery, and then in over at West Circle, there's Landon. And each one of them are different. So you could go to different one of these different spaces and have different foods because they feature different things.
Better. Let's talk
The theme.
about fall welcome. We got about 5 minutes to go before we're going to wrap the show. And this is a good segue into what students, what parents can anticipate.
Mhm.
Why is fall welcome a big deal?
It is a way, especially for our first year students, to get and adjusted to the university, to find friends, and to get connected into this bigger Spartan experience. So there's a day you'll sign up with your son or daughter, and you'll move your child into the residence halls if you're a first year student. I can guarantee you that mom, no matter how clean the room is, it's not clean enough. The father or uncle who may be driving down has got a list, wants to get everything moved in and get it out, be efficient about it. And your son or daughter will not want you to kiss or hug them in front of their new roommate. That's universal. It's always been that way. And that's just part of beginning. And then we have participation and a bunch of other things that where you can go and find a club that you want to belong to. 1,400 student clubs go to participation. So it's a good way to get connected to different activities across. There's the fall welcome that's at the Breslin Center where all the freshmen come together, and then we have different groups because we do have some of our students are student parents, some are student vets. So we try to have smaller communities so people can feel at home.
So wonderful. Okay, so talk about the move-in process because that's a kind of a big deal at the university in the fall. That whole it's almost a week, isn't it?
Yes, it's a week. It's a week that comes in, and uh, you sign up for a time with your online, and you can move into the hall. There's someone that helps you park. That gives you a cart. You load your cart. You go up the elevator into your room, and so yeah, it's all that whole process of getting people moved
I
in.
need a minute and a half takeaway from you to close this thing, my good friend Vennie Gore. What would you like to close this show with?
Well, I think what I'd like to close it with is that friendships are real important. We learn from each other. Tom and I have been learning partners for 18 years. And we have spent time sharing books, sharing stories, talking about things, and we just learn. And I just want to say, Tom, I appreciate you very much. You're the man. And thank you for having me on your show. And continue to change the course of human history, one person at a time.
That was rough. That was rough. In a good way, because I love Vennie Gore so much. He's helped me so much. People help you so much. Help people. Make people better. Operational excellence, innovation lab, fall welcome, the new rec center. Looking forward to that. Whoa. Told him that I was probably going to get emotional because I just love the guy so much. He's just such a great guy. I can't say enough about it. And I can't say enough about the university. The university is real. And we will take care of your children. Until next time, everybody, I'm Papa Tom. Peace out. Love y'all.